It is the national dish in Morocco. There is nothing in my mind more Moroccan than this. First off, we start cooking our chicken. I have here 3 chopped onions. You don't have to be chopped that thin. And I have 2 legs, 2 chicken breasts, as you can see here. Three tablespoons of olive oil. 1 teaspoon of butter. The secret in making Bastilla is actually the stuffing. The stuffing gotta be moist and very soft, not too eggy. A lot of people, I think, in my mind, they put too much eggs in the chicken Bastilla and it becomes sort of like an omelet pie instead of a chicken. My butter came to a melt. Now I'm going to start browning my chicken. After my chicken is going to be browned, what am I going to do? I'm going to put my onions into the base, just like this. What's happening here is I want to infuse the sweetness of the onions into the chicken. I'm only bringing it to a certain temperature, kind of started cooking it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to have to bake it actually in the oven for about an hour. So the spices I'm using here is salt, pepper, cinnamon, a little bit of turmeric, saffron, a little bit of ginger. It's sort of bringing some flavor. Here I got 1 tablespoon, 1.5 tablespoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of ginger, same as turmeric, same as cumin, three cloves of garlic, and this baby right here, cinnamon. This is a good cinnamon dish. Cinnamon gives it the feeling of a feast. Let's sort of bring everything in together. Top it with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Half a cup of water. Why I bake it? I bake it because I think the chicken gets more moist and tender in the oven, better than it's cooked. When it's cooked, it starts browning too much and it starts carrying sort of a kind of thickness into it. I want to boil it. I want to bake it on low heat for about an hour. For the almond stuffing, I have 100 grams of sliced almonds. Brown them and then mix them with 75 grams of powdered sugar, 2 cups of rose water, and 2 teaspoons of butter. Just once those almonds start roasting, you can start smelling that he's got a smell of a feast, and it brings all memories back home. When my grandma used to make this Bastilla, we would go all around her. She's thinking that we're going to give her some help. All we care about is stealing those almonds. I'm gonna chop these almonds here. They don't have to be thin. They don't have to be too... I still want my Bastilla to have the almond sort of nutty with the flour. I keep checking. To me, this texture is fine. It's still hot. And this is what we do back home. We seal the almonds, and they always taste delicious. Almonds in, sugar in, butter in. What the butter does is actually combine everything together and make it sort of a paste. And that's where the Bastilla gets its flavor from. It's from when the chicken and the almonds are all sort of combining together. And that what gives you the uniqueness in that pie. I've eaten a lot of Bastillas and they grind it to sort of very thin powder. And then as soon as you open the Bastilla, oh God. And that rose water gives you the feeling that you are in Morocco. After I baked my chicken for 1 hour, I took the chicken out and I'm bringing my stock to a reduction. What I want to do, I want to reduce my sauce to a very thick base before I start adding my oil. And therefore I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of honey. Okay. Don't forget about the sauce. Every time kind of stir it around to see how much water left. What you're trying to do is trying to get rid of the water so it doesn't ruin our phyllo pie. On the other hand, lightly beaten 5 eggs. And sort of like every time you put eggs, you can slowly just kind of lower your heat. And after you add all the eggs, you got to be careful here. The sauce is going to start thickening faster and faster. And time to time, take your time. Take it out of the heat, off heat, kind of stir the eggs in. After buttering my trays, this is my phyllo dough. The phyllo dough back home, it's a little different because they make it, and there are shops where you can buy a phyllo dough. But basically it's a tray, it's a heated tray, and then they start basically just dropping the dough and taking it back, so you make sort of like a very thin sheet. The phyllo dough, always keep a towel on top because it dries with the air. Buy your frozen phyllo dough and just take it out of the freezer 45 minutes before you start making it. As you can see. And sort of like when you put your sheet, just sort of like fan it. Fan it around, just like this. And then butter all out. After the chicken goes in, just cover it, a little sheet of phyllo. I'm just sort of like, just, you don't have to butter it too much, just a little bit, just sort of kind of get a feel of, mix the egg base. It's kind of hot. I'm just sort of like a very thin layer. Just have a feel of your food. You don't have I mean, honestly, really, there's no recipe in this. It's just the way you like it. You like too much eggs, just put more eggs. Just don't want to make it like an egg pie. Oh, see, already smells delicious. This is a smell, we grew up with this smell. I don't know what's wrong with me, just gonna smell. Get so emotional with this one. It's a feast dish, you don't eat this every day. And if you have some more for another pie. Another sheet on top. You're gonna take your time. This is not something you want to make and something you want to take your time with. Just want to enjoy the process of this. This dish, it's been around for hundreds of years. People made it different and different. Oh yeah, look at this smell of these almonds. Oh, that rose water, once you put that layer of almonds, it just kicks you in. Again, it reminds you that what you're cooking is absolutely Moroccan. And then I'm gonna brush it on top with egg yolks. So what the egg yolks does, it just gives it that brown color. Golden brown. And we grow up with this thing. We make this in weddings. We make this when we have a very special guest, and we make this on feasts. And the day you make Bastilla, the whole neighborhood. 30 minutes in the oven. We have this Bastilla ready. It's golden brown on top, and it smells delicious. Back home, there is different ways of decorating it. I like to make sort of like a heart shape. With the cinnamon. And then there's a sprinkle with some powdered sugar. Love it. The first thing you want to hear is that crack of the phyllo dough. That means you give the phyllo dough the respect it deserves. You cover it with the towel. You did a little dry. It's been buttered, and that's what you want to hear. Oh my God. When the knife is moist, is wet, that's a sign of moist interior. Moroccan Chicken Bastilla. It's unbelievably delicious. This is, in my opinion, this is one of the top 3 dishes I've ever eaten in my life. Delicious.